Once upon a time in the land of Equestria, on the eve when no heart should go unwarmed, two ponies discussed the question. It had something to do with antlers. "I'm telling you, Shy, they don't stick," said Rainbow Dash. She was fiercely trying to stay still while Fluttershy fussed over her, doing her best to attach a pair of antlers to her mane. All she had achieved so far was to make her friend annoyed and stained in glue. Said Fluttershy, immersed in her task. "Oh, sure they will, but I may need a bit more glue." "No more glue!" yelped Dash. "I swear, I see one more drop of that stuff in my mane and we're done." Fluttershy muttered something under her breath. "What was that?" "Need to concentrate," said Fluttershy. Her eyes narrowed, and the last hair clip was clipped. She smiled in triumph. "There! I told you it worked." "Bring me the mirror," said Dash. "I need to see this." She did. To her amazement, the wooden horns were actually straight and didn't fall off the moment she shook her head. Add to that how cool they in fact looked, and she was almost glad to have promised to do this. Almost. Fluttershy stepped from behind the large mirror and pushed it aside. A strange glint shone in her eyes as she studied Dash in the erratic light of the fireplace. With the sky covered by clouds and the windows were pitch black, giving the impression that Fluttershy's cabin was floating through an endless void, detached from everything. They were alone in the world, and everything was permitted. Everything that could be offered, for a gift, anyway. Dash sighed. "I see you're ready." Fluttershy nodded her head eagerly. She noted Dash's expression though, and said, "And I'm really happy you are too." Dash sighed again, yet this time with half a smile. "Yeah, me too." She paused, feeling slightly bothered by the starving gaze that drank her renewed shape. "So, you want me to just... or should I..." Fluttershy stepped forward and pecked her fake nose. "Just do what feels natural." Dash raised an eyebrow. "What part of this is natural to you, exactly?" She referred to her general appearance, which now greatly resembled a deer. A male deer. Fluttershy giggled. "That you'll have to find out for yourself." The magenta eyes flickered. "Careful for what you wish for, Shy. You might just get it." They kissed deeply. Fluttershy kept her eyelids half open, admiring the mighty headwear that loomed over her like branches of a great tree. Well, technically, they were just branches of a great tree that she had found lying in the forest during the summer. The idea had come to her already then, an idea old as her desire. All she needed was a suitable shell to carry it, a pony she could trust, with whom she wouldn't be ashamed of her own gaze. They fell into the bed, dashed the deer on top. The strap-on, a special order from Manhattan, brushed against Fluttershy's thigh, making her blush. She was no expert, but the rubbery, smooth surface felt genuine as it slid against her fur, lower and lower still. The tip touched her entrance, spreading moistness as it wobbled between Dash's hips. "How do I aim at this thing?" she asked in between the ravenous kissing. "Please Be gentle, Mr. Deer, answered Fluttershy, unwilling to let go of her lover. I'm all lost in these woods. Need to get home before nightfall. Dash rolled her eyes. In her mind, role-playing in bed was fine as long as it happened to other people. It was all too much fuss for her liking. But for Fluttershy, she would accept a bit of fuss any day of the week.
What's the rush, little pony?
Dash whispered, imitating a deep male voice while aligning her fake member to a better position.
The eve is just far away. The dreams are not.
She was about to push the head in, but Fluttershy's hind leg got into the way. Dash looked up and saw her with the blush blooming on her face. Her mouth cracked slightly open and eyes wide shut. But, Mr. Deer, won't you first give me a small lick?
You mean like this?
Said Dash, and traveled her tongue over her exposed belly. Before Fluttershy's giggle could die down, she continued her dive down south. The giggling soon changed into luscious moaning. Fluttershy cracked open an eye and admired the sight of Dash bobbing her head between her legs, her mighty antlers swaying back and forth. She touched them gently and gasped as Dash reacted by suckling her clitoris. Dear me, sighed Fluttershy.
On it,
said Dash while slurping her marehood. I think I'm ready for you, Mr. Deer, said Fluttershy, her voice and body both shaking in anticipation. Dash slowed her rhythm, but never stopped completely.
Is that so, my little pony? You think you could handle a full-grown deer just like that?
Yes, please. Dash spread her tongue wide and rubbed it all over Fluttershy's pussy in slow, slobbery moves, knowing full well it would drive her wild. Delicious. A treat such as you should last a little longer. Am I right? Fluttershy wiggled under the torment of her tongue. Whatever you say, Mr. Deer. Dash kept working her magic, but couldn't help but study the results of it. It was always a pleasure to produce pleasure, especially for Fluttershy, antlers or no. Guess they gave her something to hold on to when she had fucked the breath away out of both of them. The idea had gradually caught her interest too. The vision of pounding Fluttershy's rump had a certain appeal to it, regardless of what sex you were. So, after Dash had thoroughly drenched herself in her juices, she climbed over her, the strap-on hanging heavily from side to side. Hey, Shy. Fluttershy opened her eyes, filled with lust. Yes, Dashy? Merry hearts warming Eve. They smiled in unison, and in the glow of the fireplace, floated through the void of the longest of night.